What's up, guys? It is your girl Sarah from Sarah Styles. Thanks for joining today. Today is Monday. It is also Memorial Day, so we'll see if people pop on or if they're enjoying their 3-day weekend. But we are here for the Monday weekly accountability chat. It is every Monday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard. It is open to anybody who would like to join. Send me a DM if you would like the link to join. We get together, we talk about our goal or our successes for the week and then our goals for the next week. So join in the comments or join on the video. I have Lotus from Lovely Lotus Vintage here with me. So I will let her introduce herself. I think I'm expecting one other person. So let me just check my DMs, make sure she's not contacting me. So if you want to introduce yourself a little bit, Lotus, tell us about how you got into reselling. And then let's talk about what you did this weekend. Any fun things you did this weekend? Or not fun things? I know one thing you did that does not sound fun.
So my name is Lotus from Lovely Lotus Vintage. And I was in retail management for about 20 years. And then I was always an antique and vintage collector, and I just didn't want to work retail anymore. So I didn't know what I was going to do. I just kind of stumbled into it, and I've been doing it for about 2.5 years full time.
So did you thrift before you did
I was
this?
always a thrifter and yard sales, estate sales. I was a collector, still a collector. So
yeah, and you're in Arizona. So the vintage there, I've heard, is like ridiculous.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think from all of the where in Arizona are you?
Maricopa.
I have no idea where that is.
It's a little small town.
Okay, but you have good thrifting, and maybe not so much right now, but
yeah,
in general, yeah, I love it. Definitely check her out on Instagram, but that's how we connected. She has lots of really cool vintage as well. And so anything fun or anything that you did this weekend?
In my house.
What's that?
In my house.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so are you like you did it by yourself with your
me and my husband? Yeah,
just
me and my husband. Mm-hmm.
The entire house.
Yeah. We're not done yet, but we're almost done.
That is crazy. Do you have a 2-story house?
No.
Okay, so then that's because I'm thinking like the ladders alone to get to the 2nd floor. We did ours when we first moved into our other house. But we had a friend who was a painter and we had to borrow all of their tools because like the ladders alone to get to the top of a house is crazy. All right, let's check in with the chat real quick. What is up, Duncan? Some rain here this morning. How are things? It rained all day yesterday, and I'm in Colorado. That doesn't happen very often. It was kind of nice. It kind of made us chill out a little bit, cooled everything off, and we're planting. I planted this weekend, so it's nice to have really wet soil to do some planting. What's up, Reseller Wendy, Allison Cooper, Christy Blocker, everyone in the chat, let me know what you were doing this week. What was up with your weekend? Is everyone enjoying the Memorial Day weekend? It's kind of an odd weekend, right? Because it's Memorial Day and usually we're like at the pool or doing barbecues, but like we couldn't. We go to my mom's pool and it's closed off. And so I kind of kept forgetting that it was Memorial Day. Did you guys do anything? Is it open in Arizona?
Yeah, it's open, but we didn't do anything. Everybody's not going out yet still.
I saw we went for a walk and there was a lot of people like at parks, but not, and even then it was like everyone was like social distance at parks, which is just, I don't know, it seems kind of awkward. So we gardened. All right. Well, let's check in with our week. If you guys want to, last week, I was thinking about this today. I don't remember what my goal was for the week last week. I think it was surviving because it was my kids' last week of school. I'm almost positive that's what it was. And I am here. So hooray, I survived. And so I don't know. Oh, you joined us last week. Did you set a goal for last week? How was your week last week?
I've just been working on cross-listing. I got the list perfectly. So that's been my focus, is get everything crossed over to all the platforms.
So where do you sell right now?
eBay, PoshMark, Mecari, Grailed, Depop, and Etsy.
I was gonna say, do you do a lot of Etsy and Depop? I've heard those are good for vintage.
Yeah, but not so much for me. I don't know. what I'm doing, but it's I don't think I've crossed over enough yet.
Yeah.
Inventory. So
I feel like Etsy's kind of hard. When I was doing my upcycle on Etsy, I think most of my sales were coming from like social media. And so if like you don't, because Etsy's so big and everyone who's going there is looking for vintage. And so unless you have like super unique stuff, like you search a 1980s prom dress and there's like a gazillion that come up. So unless they like are looking for your closet, I think it's kind of hard. And Depop's so trendy.
yeah.
I'm not that cool. I'm on there, but I have yet to sell something. I don't think I'm cool enough for Depop.
Yeah.
Rosalind says that I've been listening, taking pictures, and cleaning my personal closet. I'm assuming that's closet. That is amazing. We are doing a lot of stuff around the house, and you obviously are as well. I think that's kind of what's happening right now. People are, I bet, like Home Depot and Lowe's and stuff are just like booming with sales because that's what everyone's doing, right? You're stuck at home. You want it to look nice. Restyle Secrets. I had my first sale on the Real and Mecari this week. Do you sell on either one of those?
I sell on Mecari. I don't know about the Real.
I haven't. I actually, now that reminds me, so the Real, they'll come out and do like a consult, but I'm sure that was shut down with everything that happened. They were supposed to come out and look at some of my stuff. And I totally forgot that until she just said that. That's interesting. How do you like Mecari? I'm not on Mecari. How does it compare to the other?
Well, I just started that maybe 3 weeks ago, and I've already had pretty consistent sales. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, I'm liking it.
Oh, that's nice. What's up, Daniela? All vintage? You sell other things too, or are you strictly vintage?
Primarily vintage.
And you're selling vintage on Mecari too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. They're pushing their sales. I notice on like any of the reseller YouTubers that I watch, Mecari is like the first ad that comes up. They're like pushing their advertisement and trying to get lots of new people on. I've heard a lot of people's sales on Mecari are doing well. Is everyone in the chat noticing that as well? I don't sell on Mecari, but if you saw on Mecari, are you noticing that you guys are getting good sales there? Let me know.
I think you have to be active. As long as you stay active and you're listing every day, those sales are consistent on Mecari.
Oh yeah. So you are using List Perfectly.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And you are cross-listing. Do you want to talk a little bit? I mean, I had List Perfectly on this week. So definitely check out that video if you guys are interested in List Perfectly. But if you want to tell us a little bit about your experience with List Perfectly and how you're using it.
It's just fantastic. It's so much easier than screenshotting and copy pasting and took forever. So it's just so easy, and it's a game changer for me.
Yeah. So are you taking it and putting it into List Perfectly? No. Or are you just doing one from
No, I do from eBay because eBay is my main platform, and I do everything from eBay to the other platforms. But as soon as new listings, I'm going to put them into List Perfectly
first and then put them out.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was doing. I go back and forth because I have a lister too. So then I just do whatever she wants to do because she does it. But I did in March when I had no inventory, I was taking all of because I was in Posh. So I was taking all of my Posh and moving it to eBay. But eBay has so many more fields. Mm-hmm. So I can definitely see it being, smarter to put it in eBay first and fill out all those fields and then boom, boom, boom. Although it's nice now, PoshMark has, 16 photos?
Oh, yeah. And the copy feature, that is so amazing.
I haven't tried it yet.
It's so easy. It's like 3 clicks and you're done.
Yeah. So then this is good because I haven't actually done it. So are you using it to relist?
Yes.
So you'll make a copy and then delete the old one and you're done? Like you don't have to do anything?
Yeah. It just copies it completely. You have to, it'll say copy in the listing. So you just delete that and literally list it. It says
copy like in the title?
Yeah, in the title, in the beginning of the title, it'll say copy, and you do have to be careful because it might take, if your title is longer than, if you go past the amount of the amount that you can put in your title, then it'll boot it out. So you have to double check and make sure it didn't take anything out of the end of the title. So,
oh, because it puts copy at the beginning.
yeah.
So then
and
it
it'll
may,
push it out. Yeah.
but it doesn't do anything to the description.
No, everything stays the same. But
I
I was
wonder,
talking and I was doing it, and then I realized, wait a minute, half of the ending is missing. So I had to go through and fix it.
well, I'm glad you said that because I haven't tested it yet. I may go through and do some relistings of like summer type stuff that's been sitting there for a while. Did you notice if it makes it like a new listing? Like, does it go to just in? Like, it's like a brand new listing, or is it kind of like not as good for the algorithm?
I did not check that.
Yeah. If anyone in the chat has done the copy on Poshmark, let us know if you, I haven't tested it out yet, but I'm wondering because I know like on eBay, if you do a sell similar, it's not as good as doing a new listing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's kind of the same with a copy on Poshmark.
Yeah, I was wondering the same.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Although, you know, it's interesting. Chris was telling me in our call this week that if you take a sell similar from a current eBay list, like, or no, an eBay listing that's sold and do a new listing from that, it's kind of, it has some kind of attachment that you sold an item. And so it's like, oh, this seller is selling things. We want to give it more visibility because they're selling, even if you sold something completely different than what your sell similar was, it kind of attaches that stigma to it. And so it's good to do sell similars from your sold items.
Okay.
Which I thought was interesting. I hadn't heard that before. I told my lister, I don't do it. I told her, she's like, I had not heard that. I will try it. So now we're trying it out to see if we do anything. So Jenny Girl's Closet is saying, I did a copy. It's a brand new listing. That's good to know. So it goes all the way to the top. I might do that tonight. I have some summer stuff I might pop up to the top. Speaking of Jenny Girl's Closet, I'll put her up here. She is coming on tomorrow. She has a brick and mortar and does consignment. And I've been interested in consignment because it's hard to get inventory. Right? I don't have any interest in doing like tracking and dealing with other people's inventory, but right now I'm really struggling with finding inventory. And we were talking a little bit before we went on about how hard it is. Our thrifting is bad. You can talk a little bit. I know we talked a few minutes ago, but if you want to share a little bit as well, and everyone in the chat, if you guys are noticing, if your stores are open up, is the thrifting the same as it was? Or if you're noticing it's not quite the same?
Ours is pretty empty, and what is there is overpriced, and they're not pushing merchandise throughout the day. So it wasn't good for me.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I've only been once. But when I went, I was like, oh, that's awful. Do you have bins close to you?
They're about an hour and a half from me.
Have you been yet since they've opened up?
No, because I heard that you have to wait outside, and we're in Arizona, so it gets kind of hot.
That's awful.
So you have to wait, and I think you have a time limit of how many people can be in and how long you have in there. And if you pick something up, you have to keep it. You can't put it back.
Like you have to buy it.
Yeah, you have to buy it. So
all right, I'm done. Like, I don't know if our bins are like that, but I just grab all the things and then I usually put like at least half of it back.
Yeah. So it's not worth it for me to go.
Yeah,
but I have tons of inventory. I have a Connex box. I have a ranch, so I have a shipping container filled with inventory.
That's not listed yet.
No, and I constantly list and I constantly get inventory. So this hasn't been hard for me.
Oh, yeah. See, I was a no death pile person, and now I'm completely keeping myself.
I used to always see that. You'd always have your death pile gone, and I always would have mine and just keep going. And so it was good for me during this.
Had I known a pandemic was coming, I would have changed my business strategy. But I didn't want inventory sitting around because I'm like, well, it's not going to make money if it's sitting on my floor, right? But had I known there was a pandemic. So now I feel like I'm kind of turning into a little bit of a hoarder because I'm like, well, what if I go and there's nothing? So I'm like trying to find, I have like 500 items right now. And I'm like, I need to find more inventory just in case like I can't find it. I'm like the opposite now. But I'm running out of room too. So it's nice that you have like a little box to put it in. Yeah. Well, not little. Restyle Secret says, Sarah, did you say sell similar is not a new listing on eBay? It gets a new item number and date and watchers are gone. Yeah, so, and you have been on eBay longer than I have, so I don't know what you've heard. I've heard, so it is a new listing, but it still has, like, in the back end, it still has a little bit of like stigma kind of attached to it that is not a completely new listing, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, I don't know how like the back end works, but if you are listing something, it's best to do a new listing instead of just like doing a bunch of sell similars, right?
Yeah. I've also heard to do one at a time instead of, I used to take 20 down and then sell similar 20 at a time. And I heard that with the algorithm wants you to do one at a time. Yeah. I don't have enough time.
Yeah, which is silly because if they're going to give you that tool to make it faster, then you shouldn't get a ding for using it.
Yeah.
That's silly. I mean, I can see they probably don't want you to be like a bot, right? So they want to try and make sure that you're a real person, but also if they're giving you that tool,
yeah,
you should be able to use it. That's crazy. Daniela, if you guys don't follow her, I had her on this weekend. We were talking about social media, lots of really good content there about doing social media for reselling and just in general, some really good tips. She says she's on YouTube. Daniela, pop your YouTube name in the comments because I can't. Your Thrifters Villa is a podcast, and I'm trying to remember your YouTube name. But she has a video coming out Wednesday about thrift stores around here. It was an experience, and I know she's in New England area, New Hampshire, maybe New England somewhere. Resale Secret says she went to the bins in Indiana. Limited number of customers, mass otherwise the same. You can put things back, but it's all winter stuff. Oh, do they filter the bins? Do they filter your bins? Because they just throw whatever they get in our bins.
Yeah, ours is just whatever. Some is from the Goodwill and some is never even reached the Goodwill. But it's
like what doesn't sell at the Goodwill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a valid point. Is it a good majority of the two, or is it more one or than the other?
Well, the times that I went, it was a mix.
Yeah.
It was a mix.
I think so. I've heard that our bins, I'm in Denver, like a suburb of Denver, and I've heard that our bins are like really good. And very rarely do I see things that didn't sell at the Goodwill, like with price tags on it. Very rarely do I see that. And I think that's what makes our bins good is it's not stale inventory that didn't sell. It's like brand new stuff that just, they get so many donations that they just can't put it in the store. That's interesting. I was talking to a girl today who went to the bins and it was 2 hours. And you had to get lined up and you had to stay right where you were. So you couldn't, like it made it really hard at the bins. And she said she was having a hard time finding good stuff because you want to like search here. And then if that's not a good one, you go to the next one and like, you can't do that. And it was a 2-hour time limit. And then you get kicked out.
Yeah. Like you're designated to one bin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard that.
Yeah. And there's only so many people. And I'm like, I don't know. It seems like a lot of work.
And especially if you have to drive, like I have to drive an hour and a half. So that's not going to be good for me. Yeah.
And if you can find stuff at the other, do you do estate sales?
I do.
Can you say that? Yeah.
Yeah. I love going to estate sales.
I was going to say, I bet you have good stuff there. I've never done one. Do you have any tips?
What? Yeah, no, go.
No, that's a lie. I have gone to one. I was driving to a thrift store and I saw a sign and I went in and I was like, I only know clothes. And so all of the other stuff, I was like, this is probably good stuff. I have no idea. But there was no clothes and I was like, all right, I'm done. What tips do you have for them? How do you find them?
Online. I like to find them online and make a list of all the ones that I possibly would go to, a couple, because I do drive far usually. I live like in a small little town that's kind of on the outskirts of the city. So I have to drive like 45 to an hour and a half to get anywhere anyway. So I just make a list of everywhere that I want to go and try to, sometimes we get like 2 or 3 in when we go. And we sell antiques and vintage hard goods too. We have a store for that as well.
Actual, like a brick and mortar or like an eBay store?
No, on eBay.
Yeah. So when you say we, you mean like you and
my husband.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the ones that I've been in, what I've heard is that they price things like ridiculously high too. So how do you deal with that?
Well, he's really good at haggling. They always love him. If it's like usually it's like an older lady running it, and they just love him, and he's able to get good deals. He always talks them into giving them good deals. So we do really good at estate sales.
And do they know you?
Sometimes, yeah. And if we're on their email list, they'll email us and let us know, because we do spend good money. And but you should go.
Yeah, I'm gonna, because it's better during the summer. That and garage sales, I've heard, are better during the summer. But it's hard with kids because they're usually like Thursday through Saturday.
Yeah.
And by the time you go on Saturday, it's like all the crap. But going during the weekday is hard. Like, I'm not taking my kids to that. So then like I can't get there right when they open. So that's why I haven't gone in. So I was gonna go like when they were in school, like, but now who knows what's gonna happen with school. Do you have, I don't remember, do you have children? They're older.
Yeah, I have all boys, and I only have one left in the house, and he's gonna be 12. So he hates to go, so I let him stay home.
Yeah.
My in-laws live here.
Oh, that's
they take
nice.
Care of him. Huh?
That's nice. I mean, I feel like that's nice to have.
They have their own house on our property. They live with us.
Nice.
So
you have like babysitters, but then they're off in their own space too.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. My daughter would love for my parents to live with us. She actually is like, Mom, can Grandma and Grandpa just come live here? Well, you have to ask Grandma and Grandpa. I would love for them to come live here because then they would do all the things with you that I don't want to do.
Right?
And now it's hard. It's hard now because you guys can still see them, right? Like before, for us, we haven't been able to see anyone, but they live on your property, and so you can still see them. Duncan's asking if you sell vintage letters.
Vintage letters, like handwritten letters.
I think so. I think he sells like postcards and like vintage letters. That's kind of what he specializes in.
I have some, but I've never sold any. Do they do good?
That's all he does.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah. He's probably trying to get you
to get them.
Yeah.
I've never sold them, but I can look.
Yeah, she's on. That's her name on Instagram. So hit her up on Instagram about it. Let's get in. We've just been chit-chatting. I hope this is interesting for people. I wonder if the items from the stores that are closing down will end up in Ross and Nordstrom Rack. That's interesting. I'm curious how retail is going to be, because I don't know if as many people, have you noticed if as many people are out shopping?
It's pretty much the same. We didn't have, like, we closed down, but it didn't seem like it was as dramatic as everywhere else. It was because I'm in such a small town.
Yeah.
So are you all the way open yet, or you're not?
We are safer at home, and I think everything, if not most things, are open, but it's still limited, like 10 people gatherings. And they really encourage you to be at home. You have to wear a mask if you're out, all of that. And I don't like, even grocery shopping, I'm like, I'm just going to order it. There's no point in me. I also don't like going.
Yeah.
Flipping Gals is asking, do you sell vintage clothing that are not, how do you sell vintage clothing that are non-branded?
If I can date it just by like the stitching and the material, I try to date it as best as I can. And that's what I do. Or just look for similar items. But I mean, I've been doing it for a while, so I can usually tell by the style and the stitching.
Yeah. And I think finding the SEOs, right? Like you have to know the keywords that people are going to, like prairie dress, or even like finding all of those, because they're not searching for citizens of humanity, right? They're searching for like a 1970s prairie cocktail. I mean, I only do dresses, and I know you do a lot of dresses too, but there's so many different dresses from the like you have to know all of those different styles. You can't just say dress, right?
Yeah.
Which is like a whole new learning. Vintage is hard. I mean, you probably think it's easy because you've done it for so long, but it is hard because you can't just like look up a comp and do data. Duncan is saying old letters sell all day long, especially older than 1900s.
Oh, see, I don't know how old they are. I'll look though.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder how you date that.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it has a date on it,
Maybe.
obviously. I mean, that would be easy, but like if it doesn't have a date on it. All right. Let's get into it. What was everyone's? Oh yeah, Danielle is saying TJ Maxx and Marshalls have been insane here. I've been trying to keep away.
Our Ross opened, and I guess they had like a super clearance. Like, I got an email from my nephew or a text message that it was open and to go because the prices were like 75% off. And when I went, it's right next to my Goodwill, and there was a long line for like 2 hours of people waiting to get in, and I'm not going to do that. But
no, because
yeah,
are they only allowing so many people in at a time?
Yeah, they're limiting.
Yeah. See, I know about time for that.
No, it's too hot.
I know. Well, for you, we're not hot yet. It was really hot at the beginning of the week. Now we're back to the 60s, so that's nice. All right, let's talk about what our goals were for what our successes were for last week. You mentioned cross posting. I don't know if you want to touch on anything else that was a big success for you.
I did get a VA. I tried my VA. I love it so much. It's the reseller assistant, and I did the week. They have like a special just to try it out for a week, and it's amazing. I've made more sales. My account's active, tons of likes. So I'm sending out a lot more offers because I don't have time to share my closet.
Is that mainly what they're doing, is sharing your closet?
Yeah. And they do follows and they do shares. However I want it. I'm definitely keeping them.
Yeah.
I'd love to get a lister like you. That'll be my next step.
It's 100% worth it. And I was actually talking with my husband today. I have been so much less stressed. It comes out of your profit, right? Because I'm paying someone to do it. But for me, I'm able to stay consistent and make my goals for my business, but also spend time with my kids. Like that's the reason that I stay at home is to be with my kids. And I was working so much that I wasn't spending time with them. And then they would come like want to spend time with me. I'm like, no, I'm trying to do, and then I was and so I'm like, so it's, even if I lose a little bit of profit, it is 100% worth it to me. And I hate listing. Yeah. It is my least favorite part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Especially on eBay. I actually got my lister to start on eBay, and now she just cross posts for me too. I'm trying to think what my win was. Surviving. We had a lot last week. Actually, kind of felt like a regular. I mean, minus not like wearing a mask when we went places, but we had a lot of activities. It was the last week of my kids' school, so we had to like take them to school and pick items up. And like we had a car parade and a like continuation parade for my niece and all like fairly normal things, but we haven't done anything in like 2 months. And I was like, oh my God, we actually have things on our calendar now. And it feels completely overwhelming. And so it was hard to get a lot done last week because we actually had like to go places and do things. I am, and I think you're doing it, right? The affiliate link, right?
Yes.
Yes. So that has kind of been my big goal for a couple of weeks. I am starting an affiliate program for my dashboard. So, getting a link to share with people, and then you get a kickback if people use your link to sign up. To do that, I built a website, which I am not. I took one computer science class in college. So it was a big feat for me. My brother does website development, so I bugged him quite often. But that was kind of my big one. I'm in beta testing right now. I have a couple of people like you. I feel like everything's okay, but I want you guys to try and break it before I like give it to the masses and then find a problem and like 200 people are using it. So that I think was my big win. If everybody in the chat wants to tell us what their goals were from last week, if you met your goals and kind of what your big success was for the week. Let me see. Oh, here, someone is telling us what they're going to do with their inventory. Usually companies go out of BIA using liquidation companies that buy the inventory. Then they try to sell it as the stores tick down to close. I think high-end merchandise could go to the real. I know a lot of places too are doing like opening up their own like shops and stuff. So they might be selling it to themselves.
What is the real?
It's a high-end reseller. So you, but you send your stuff in and they list it for you. And then, so it's kind of like commission, I guess. Like you send it in, but they only accept like really high-end brands. Like they have a whole list of like things. Reseller Wendy is asking, do you have a YouTube channel, Lotus? If so, what is it? I'm always looking to follow other resellers.
No, I don't have one, not yet. This is my first time even being on.
She is on Instagram, though, and pretty active on Instagram. So if you have questions, she knows a lot about vintage. I'm going to talk you up because sometimes it's hard to do it to yourself. So she knows a lot about vintage and is pretty active on Instagram. So definitely follow her over there. On that note too, so let me know in the chat your guys's successes for the week, but then also I'm big on shameless self-promotion. So definitely make sure to leave your YouTube channels, your Instagram handles, your closets, if you're having sales, whatever it is, leave all of that in the chat. If you're watching this in the recording, make sure to leave all that stuff down in the comments below as well. And for you, Lotus, if you want to come back after when this is done and it's a recording, you can leave your direct link to your eBay or whatever it is. And I would like to note too, anyone is welcome to join this chat. I do it every Monday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard. You just have to send me a DM and say, hey, I want to come on the chat. And the first 3 people get to come on. Sometimes it's one person. And I think it's a holiday. It is a holiday. So I think that's kind of what's happening today. But sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 3. Anyone is welcome to come on. Flipping Gals, they were on last week. What do you guys think if discount stores go online? Do you have any thoughts?
I don't do too much of the discount stores.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of
doing a lot of online, like all our jewelry from the Goodwill went, but I'm mostly thrift and estate sales. So it wouldn't really affect me too much.
Yeah, I don't do retail arbitrage, but I do wonder if it would, like they would then be more direct competition, right? Like you could go to Ross online instead of having to buy used on Poshmark. So it might decrease our value, right? And make items worth less. I actually had someone the other day looking at one of my items and she was like, I could get this for cheaper on clearance from Kohl's online. And I was like, okay, I mean, that's probably a valid statement. So I think people are like going out and looking. Reseller Wendy, my goals were to photograph and list a bunch of new attack high-end swimwear I purchased recently. Got the first batch done and sold 3 already. Listing second batch I bought now. Ooh, high-end new attack swimwear. I'm going to ask where you got it from, but I'm guessing you're not going to want to share. But swimwear right now for sure is pretty popping right now. I don't have a lot of swimwear. Do you do swimwear?
Sometimes.
Yeah, we don't have.
Not a ton.
Yeah, our thrift stores they're smart. They only put out inventory like for the season. And so before all this happened, they didn't have swimwear out yet because it was still, winter. And I haven't really been back to get any more swimwear. So it may be too late by the time I go. Okay, let's set some goals for the week. Do you have any big goals? And that goes for everyone in the chat as well. Do you have any goals for the week? And if there's anything that we can do to help you guys achieve them. So if you have questions on your goals, definitely ask them. And then I'll let you go ahead, Lotus, on what your goal for the week is.
Try to just finish cross-listing everything. That's like, I'm not even listing new merchandise until I get everything cross-listed.
How many items do you have?
Well, I have 1,000 items in my eBay store. So probably I've done maybe 200. So I still got a little bit to go.
Yeah, but that's intense.
VA, it's making it a lot. Like I have so much more time. So
yes, because you're not doing other things.
I'm not sharing my closet and yeah.
So you're trying to get eBay, you have everything in eBay and you're trying to get it on how many other platforms?
Like 5, about 5.
Oh my God, girl, that's going to take you like weeks?
Yeah, probably. Well, I do it. I work all day. So
yeah,
it'll be done in maybe like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
And
probably, because if you're doing it all day.
yeah.
I did, I'm trying to think, because that's what I did in March. I had no inventory. So I got all of my Posh, which was like 600. And I already had like 200 or 300 on eBay. So I did like 300 or 400 in about a month, but I was doing like an hour a day. So if that's all you're doing all day, yeah, and then you'll blow up.
Yeah.
If you have that much inventory, yeah, if you have that much inventory on all of those platforms,
Yeah.
and it's nice. Oh, so you're not putting it in List Perfectly, right?
Yeah. So I have to delist everything myself. So that's the only problem that I'm having is
Yeah,
going
because
to making sure I don't forget to do that.
that's my struggle right now. I had everything in List Perfectly, and then now I'm using my lister a little bit more, and she doesn't really like List Perfectly. And so I am terrified. I don't care about the other platforms, but I'm terrified I'm going to forget to take something off of eBay.
Yeah.
And then it's going to sell and something.
You have to
If
cancel.
it happens on Posh, I'm like, I'll just cancel
Yeah.
the order.
Yeah.
But have you ever had to cancel on eBay?
Yeah. But I have so many sales on eBay that it doesn't really affect my score too much. I've
Yeah,
only
see, I'm
done it
still
a couple
new.
times.
I'm still new that I'm like terrified of all the little things on eBay.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous. Hello, miscellaneous. My goal is to finally get back to doing my repairs on some items. I keep saying it and not doing it, so maybe saying it here will finally make me do it.
Oh, I have that too.
Do you have? I gave up. I was like, if it needs a repair, I am not going to do it. Do you
Yes.
do repairs on stuff?
Yeah, because I have really, really good vintage that it might be missing a button or it might have a seam coming out, and it's worth it for me to do it. But I just have so much inventory. I'm like, oh, I'll just leave that. And I have a whole rack that needs to be repaired. So that's a good one. I should add that to my list.
When you need to take a break, because I feel like if you're on List Perfectly for 8 hours, you might
Yeah.
need like a little bit of a break, right?
Yeah.
I did it for like an hour and I was like, yeah, that's
No,
about all I can handle. Yeah. You
just
start to
like
go like,
15 hours straight.
oh my God, girl, you have some dedication.
Yeah.
You're getting your money's worth, right?
Yeah.
For sure. So I think my goal, I'm trying to think, I have kind of been out of it. I've kind of been taking a little, not a break, like I'm still working, but I'm not working as balls to the walls as I usually am. I'm trying to like take a little bit more time. Usually when I have a minute, I'm like, I'm gonna go work. And now I'm like, I'm gonna like decorate our house or garden or like get back to doing things that are not work related. And so my mind's not just always in work. This week, I don't know. Let me check in with the chat while I think about. I don't know what my goal for this week is. I want to get the affiliate program up and running. I know what it is. So someone mentioned that someone is Daniela. Actually, on Saturday, she mentioned that my YouTubes could be a podcast very easily, because it's, right now we're basically having a podcast. We're both chatting or whatever. And then I can just upload it and have a podcast. So, if I already don't have enough on my plate, I think I might add a podcast
Oh.
to it, but not make any new content. Basically just take, the content that I have on YouTube and put it onto a different platform. But I think I'm going to try and look into that this week and see. Yes, I'm writing that down. I have that. It's one of my things too, is getting organized. I got some notebooks. I'm writing that down right now. What is everyone else's, Daniela? Yes to podcast. What is everybody else's goals for the week? VA or podcast? Podcasts. We have a lot of people doing listing. My goal is to cross list to Mecari as well. Anyone know how many drafts we now get? Are we asking in PoshMark? I did see that went up. Have you tried?
Is it 50?
Is it now? I haven't looked. I heard it went up.
I thought it was 50, I heard. But I haven't been listing. I've just been cross listing.
I actually, and this may be controversial, but I do drafts in eBay because eBay, you have to list every day. Like that is a thing I have learned. And any eBayer would tell you that. PoshMark, you have to be active, but it does not have to be listings. And so if I have things to list, and when I say I mean my virtual assistant, because currently she's doing all my cross posting. But if there's things to list, I'm like, there's no reason to hold off on them because PoshMark doesn't matter. So she'll list like 30 in one day, and then I won't list anything for like a week, and it doesn't affect my sales at all, as long as I am still getting on the app 30 minutes to an hour a day and doing like followers and shares and commenting and like being some kind of active. But I've done quite a few tests, and I've done a whole analysis, and listing doesn't matter. I mean, you have to list inventory, right? But that as an activity is not as big of an issue as it is on eBay. So I don't use the drafts. Do you use the drafts in PoshMark?
No, I do eBay first. eBay's my main one, so I do that.
And then you just put everything. Yeah. Sorry, lots of talking. Duncan's asking for me to do 8-hour podcast. Hell to the no. Actually, here, this is what I will put a recording device on my day for 8 hours, and you can hear the chaos that is my life. And then you will be like, this lady is crazy, and never my children. And yeah, I can hear my 3-year-old, he's 3 now, not 2, out there crying and fussing, and you'll wonder how in the world I get anything done. Daniela is going to send 4 boxes to ThreadUp and try to sell the last of my not so mystery reseller boxes. So if you're looking for inventory, head on over to Daniela. She has great stuff over there. Did you say you were doing ThreadUp, or did I make that up? No. I made that up. I was talking to someone else today then.
You do ThreadUp? Have you done it?
No, I don't. I have not. I'm kind of in the mindset of, as long as I've already listed it, I've already done all that work that I don't want to take it off and then send it somewhere. I'd rather just sell it for less.
Yeah.
Because I've already done.
What are their fees on ThreadUp?
I have no idea. Daniela, can you give us a little down low on ThreadUp? Like how it works and how their fees are? I've never done it. I did consider for one point just purchasing and sending stuff in so I didn't have to list it, because I hate listing that much.
But now you don't need to.
Yeah, now I just pay someone to do it who actually likes it. And it's a perfect pair because she hates shopping. Yeah, she loves the listing. She could do that all day. She does do that all day now. They have a ThreadUp Lux as well. So I have Reseller Wendy says I have at least 2 Lux boxes to send ThreadUp to and request more labels for more. So I'm going to put this actually down. That is something else. I think this would be would you guys like a little live on how to do ThreadUp and maybe the real? Because I have no idea how it works. So that's where I come up with my ideas for lives, is I'm like, oh, I don't know how that works. Let's ask. Miscellaneous agrees. Once I've taken the picture and listed it, then I might as well just leave it there. Oh, Duncan. Oh my God. I have $10,000 of letters in stock. That's crazy.
Wow.
Danielle is more of a real girl. Well, if anyone in the chat knows how ThreadUp works, or even the real, because you have to sit in. So it's a little bit of a different model than just listing on their platform. Drop a note. We have both said our goals. The time goes not quite as fast when there's only 2 of us as opposed to 4 people. So I am going to, and I can hear my 3-year-old just not having it. So I am going to end this soon. So if anyone has any specific questions, make sure to leave your information in the chat, your YouTube, your Instagram, your whatever it is, and all of your goals. Like I said, this is something that I do every single week. Anyone is welcome to come on the video call with me as well. Even if you've been a guest in the past, you're welcome to come back as well. Just send me a DM. The first 3 people, the software only allows 3 people. That's why. And I also feel like the more people I have, it kind of gets like, if you have 10 people talking, it's kind of too many. But if you want to join next Monday, send me a DM, or definitely join in the chat if you don't want to have to like comb your hair and get ready to stay in your pajamas. That's fine too. But this is, just a casual accountability. Come in, check And for the week, how did your week do? What were your successes? What are you working on? It's kind of like a staff meeting, right? Like we don't have coworkers. And so selfishly, this is for me. I want to talk to other people besides my husband. I love talking to my husband, but other resellers that get it when, you say list perfectly and a virtual assistant, they really know what's up. So if anybody has any questions before we leave, drop them down below. Make sure to drop all of your information in the chat as well as the comments. If you like content like this, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification so you get notified of my new stuff. I am going live tomorrow with Jenny Girls Closet talking about consignment and how to do consignment to resell, talking about all the ins and out of that. So if you're struggling with finding inventory, you might have to start thinking outside of the box and thinking about doing consignment. Definitely join tomorrow. That is already up on my channel, so you can set a reminder for that. And then my Wednesdays with Chris, every Wednesday at 6:30, I'm talking to Chris from A Daily Refinement about just all the things. I'm doing a mentorship with him. So we talk all the things to try and get me to make more money. So lots of information there as well. So on that note, if you have anything else to share, if you want to shamelessly self-promote anything for your closet, if you're doing any sales or anything.
No, I'm not having any sales right now. No.
Okay.
I've just been so focused on getting everything cross-listed. I didn't.
Yeah,
but I'll put
I think
my closet name and my Instagram in after this is over.
Okay. Yeah. So if you want to follow Lotus, make sure to come back. Or if you're watching this in the recording, her stuff will be down in the comments as well. If you're watching in the recording, feel free to put your stuff in the comments as well. And I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of Memorial Day and a good week until we see you next week. Have a good night.